My name is Abagayle Wright, and I'm here with Mayor Brooks Fetters to discuss Disability Awareness Month. When and what is Disability Awareness Month?
Abagayle, thanks. I really appreciate the chance to be out here at RTV and to talk with you a little bit about one of my favorite months of the year, when we take time to help make every citizen of Huntington aware that there are people of all kinds of abilities. There are people who may not be able to hear well that can do all kinds of amazing things. There may be people with sight disabilities or physical disabilities, and everybody has some sort of a disability, but everybody also has lots of abilities, and so we're celebrating the abilities that people have to contribute to making Huntington a great place.
I think that's really cool that there's a month dedicated to this. So I know that each year there's a theme for Disability Awareness Month. What is this year's theme?
This year we're borrowing a theme from a few years ago called Love Where You Live, and it's on the poster behind me. And what I like about it is I love helping people learn to love to call Huntington home. That is one of my favorite things as mayor, and I love living in Huntington. There's so many cool things, lots of great people, and we want people to love calling Huntington home.
I sure love calling Huntington my home. So how does Indiana Governor's Council for People with Disabilities get the word out about Disability Awareness Month?
Well, a lot of communities like Huntington will have an emphasis where they have a lot of different events throughout the month of March. They have TV spots like what you're doing here at RTV, but also 21 Alive and TV 33 do some things like this. They also have other awareness programs that go on. And so we have a whole calendar of events that we're going to be doing throughout the month of March that we can invite people to, and people can learn more about how to get through life and enjoy life even with a disability.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what are some ways that people in our community could help out with Disability Awareness Month in this year or in years to come?
I'll tell you what, I've got the calendar here, and as you look through here, you can see, the audience can't, but you can see it's really full. Mm-hmm. One of the first things we're doing is this event right here. Mm-hmm. It's the YouTube launch of mm-hmm. the RTV Mayor's Video. There's some Special Olympic basketball games and tournaments that are going on here locally and then throughout the state. I'm going to be doing a mayoral proclamation on Monday. There's a story time at Kids Campus next Friday. And then the whole week of March 11th is what we call March's Disability Awareness Month. Join us for Spirit Week. And so we'll wear different colored t-shirts. I don't look good in a t-shirt, so I just wear a different colored tie every day. And so there's yellow, blue, green, orange, and purple to help bring awareness to different disabilities that people may have.
Yeah, it's really cool how you can represent different abilities just by wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know that Huntington is very accessible for those with disabilities, so are there any ways that Huntington has recently done anything to accommodate people with disabilities?
We're doing that all the time. Every time we improve a building, for example, at the city building, we make sure that all of our doors have push-button access points. We make sure that all of our lights in our buildings have motion sensor switches so that people don't have to worry about flipping the switch on and off. We have our restrooms made so that people in wheelchairs can get through the doors and can use the restrooms independently. Another piece is if you go around through town, you may have noticed when we pave streets that all the curb ramps have those flattened out areas, and then they have those little bubbly things that help people know that they're kind of close to the street, and it makes it accessible for wheelchairs and people with walkers and canes. And a lot of times it's just somebody who's getting older, like a grandparent. You don't think of a grandparent with a disability because they're not necessarily in a wheelchair or something like that, but maybe they drag their feet. And we don't want people tripping and falling over those curbs when they're crossing the street. So that's a lot of what we do.
It's really cool. So what goals have you set with the events this year, and how do you think you are bringing these activities to people without disabilities?
We just want to include as many people as possible in Disability Awareness Month, because we all know somebody with a disability. Whether it's a hearing disability or a physical disability or a mobility issue or a sight issue, we want people to know that people with disabilities are still first and foremost people, and they're people who are talented and creative and are worth knowing and worth caring about. One of the other things that we want to do is on about the 28th of March, I'm going to do one of my all-time favorite events, and that's what we call the Downtown Roll-Around. And so I'll be getting in a wheelchair that day, and I'll be getting a bunch of my friends, and we'll take wheelchairs and we'll roll around downtown Huntington, and we'll learn just how hard it can be to move around downtown in a wheelchair.
That's really cool. Well, there you have it, Huntington. Thank you very much for your time and letting us all know more about Disability Awareness Month. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Abagayle. Nice to be with you.
Nice to be with
Take
you
care.
too. You too.